All right. Hi, everybody. It's Steve Wabble. We're here with the Business Credit and Financing Show, the Influencers Edition. And today, I'm super excited. I've got a gentleman on the line that just does some of the coolest things ever. Just some of the coolest things ever. His name is Quinn McClinton. He is the owner, editor, and photographer for Elegance On 18 Wheels magazine, which is cool enough. But what's really cool is he's got the elegant model truck fleet in Illinois. And as I understand it, he builds custom model trucks. He started this company in 1985 with the inspiration of Mr. Ray Miller of Double Eagle Industries in Indiana. And in 2013, he introduced the word to Elegance On 18 Wheels magazine. Quinn, welcome. Love seeing you here. Now, we were discussing before we got on here that I actually ran into you out in Walcott. For those of you who aren't familiar, Walcott is the Iowa 80 truck stop. It's the largest truck stop in the world,
Yes.
and they have a really cool show. Was that is that fall or summer? I can't remember if it was there.
That is usually right around the 4th of July when it
Okay, that's what I thought, because all I remember is it was hot.
very
It was hot. So I gotta know, Quinn, you've been doing this for a long time. Obviously, you're a fantastic photographer. I've been to your website. You got a cool magazine, but you got to tell me, how'd you get started on the model trucks?
well. As a kid, I used to, I grew up in Alabama, and I used to see we lived. The truck route came through where our farm was, and I would always see these big rigs going down the road, and I was like, man, I wonder where these guys are going, and the trucks look so cool and everything. And I ended up building some models because a guy came that hauled livestock in Roanoke, Alabama. I went up to the livestock yard and I saw this Mack truck that was absolutely stunning, and it had a double eagle sleeper, a little 36-inch double eagle sleeper on it. And I said, sir, you mind if I build a model of this truck? And he looked at me, he's like, you gonna build a model of this truck? I said, yeah. And he said, son, if you build the model of this truck, I'll buy it from you. I said, oh, wow. I said, will you be here next week? He was like, yeah, okay, let's see this happen. So I went home, put it all together. The next week he came up there. I walked up there with it glued on a nice little piece of wood and truck and trailer. And that was the first time I saw a grown man in the trucking world cry. And I brought him to tears, and he gave me like $200 for it.
Wow. Wow. That's a star was born.
I give a whole lot of credit to Mr. Ray Miller because I used to bug Mr. Miller back in 1970s. And since I had saw that truck, I looked at the name on the sleeper and it was like Double Eagle. I got to find out who this Double Eagle is. And so I would actually call Mr. Miller and bug him and ask him for pictures and just talk to him all the time about these trucks. He would always send me these pictures. So when I finally moved to Chicago, where I went to college and everything, I got an invitation to come down to Double Eagle Industries, and I showed him some of the stuff personally. And he said, Quinn, have you ever thought about selling these as, to the world? I was like, nobody's going to pay me for this kind of stuff. It's just not a market for it. He said, I tell you what, let me come down to Louisville, Kentucky, bring a couple of trucks down, and let's put them in my booth, and let's find out if the world will like them or not. Okay, well.
Oh, that's a big truck show too, the Louisville one.
Louisville truck show is the largest truck show in the world.
Yep.
And getting the invitation to come down and visit Double Eagle, I saw what the facility was like and who Double Eagle was and everything. And I took two pieces to Louisville, Kentucky in 1985. And from 1985 is actually when the Elegant Model Trucks actually became a business, because he inspired me to actually, at that point, I got 6 orders just from being in that show. And I had no clue that this would be such a item of interest.
Oh, it's more than that, I think, Quinn. You told me a couple of stories. Tell me about your most famous models you've made.
Well, we've had an opportunity to build some stuff for Sylvester Stallone. We did a prototype for the over-the-top truck that he won in the movie Over the Top, and we did the Optimus Prime truck for the Peterbilt, and
You realize there's like a million kids out there, if they're listening, having a heart attack right now.
And photography team that was on set on location when they were filming here in Chicago. So I got a chance to see all the trucks, and we actually got it on the cover of one of our magazines too.
That's outstanding. And you've done, let me see, you've done the Wells Fargo stagecoach, right?
Oh yeah. Actually, we've got a project that we got going right now for our Wells Fargo that's going to be absolutely killer. That's going to be doing some tours and stuff. Yeah.
Well, without sharing any trade secrets, I was a model guy when I was a kid, did airplanes, all that. We're probably roughly the same age. I joined the Marine Corps in '84, so you were in college, so roughly the same age. How did you get the custom pieces?
Well, my education is engineering, so
okay.
For General Motors, so I've always been in the model world, and so whatever I ever wanted, I would actually just make. I would start from a 6-foot sheet of plastic and just create everything that that I pretty much wanted, and then the only thing I would use out of most kits was either rubber tires or a grill or something out of the existing kit, and then I would create just about everything else, including
Wow. And you didn't think they would, I'm sorry?
The piece that's behind me, that was a concept piece for a company out of Australia that makes those trains for the racing teams in Australia. But I added my rendition of it as an American version. Of course, we don't run trucks like that in America, but it was so cool to know what they were doing. I said, I just got to add a little to it. So.
Well, I have to ask you because, and I guess I'm part of my problem right now is that I just think this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I'm all into it. But I mean, you not only are doing this, you have the magazine as well, and you have a YouTube channel with over 40,000 followers. And I've watched your YouTube videos, and it looks to me like what you do is just kind of let people brag about their trucks.
That's what it is. I mean, I've always wanted to bring the trucking world, the elite of the trucking industry, to the rest of the world, because everybody had a perception of trucking as being just these barbarians out there, these road warriors that
cowboys.
They negative to it, and I just wanted to show them these guys and gals have some exquisite equipment. They take a lot of pride in their equipment, and you guys need to actually know who these people are, because they're some of the coolest people around. And that's pretty much what it's based on. I wanted the working class show trucks to have a voice. So that's pretty why I do the YouTube thing, and I guess kind of had some success with it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I have to ask you, and almost everyone who is an influencer gives me the same answer, but I like to ask, did you ever see this coming when you started your YouTube channel?
Never. I didn't even want to do the Facebook or Instagram social media stuff either. It was my oldest daughter and my first cousin that actually told me, Dad, you need to actually get out there, because the magazine is, really cool, but you need to market yourself a little bit better. I was like, okay, well, baby, tell me how I do this. And she said, social media. I was like, oh, great, here we go. Baby, that's not I'm old school. I don't know how to, move around the system with Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So this might not be a good deal for your dad. And she said, Dad, once you get into it, it'll come natural to you. Just try it. So that was the kicker for me. And when I found out that before my dad passed away, he said that, he's like, Quinn, you got all these, you've been taking pictures since the 70s, man. You got all these pictures and nobody will ever see them. Why don't you do something to show the rest of the world what you've shot and what you've seen? And he was the inspiration to actually starting the actual magazine. And unfortunately, he passed away before we got the first edition out, but we dedicated it to him. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So this is an in-print magazine. I mean, I saw that you could also order it digitally. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and give that website address now. I don't want to say it wrong. Matter of fact, I'll let you say it.
Well, we got it on www.eewmag.com, And that's where you can go in and get any of the editions of the magazine that's out there right now. And you can look us up on Facebook, Elegance on 18 Wheels. I think it's at Facebook. I think it's how it's written in there.
Let's see. It's facebook.com/Elegance on 18 Wheels.
Yeah, and I think the same thing is for the Elegant model page as well.
Yeah, and listeners, remember it's Elegance, DE slash, or not slash, come on, hyphen dash Elegance. So let's talk about the magazine. When did you launch the magazine?
Well, we actually launched the magazine in 2013. And
2013.
We, like I said, it was an inspiration from my dad to show the world some of the photos and stuff that was out there, and some of the magazines and stuff that was out there that was an inspiration to me, like American Trucker, Overdrive, Owner Operator, so forth and so on, had started to, I guess, change their formats on the way the trucks were put into print. And I said, well, you know what? I want to do a magazine. And my love of a magazine called DuPont Register. I love the way the DuPont Register was made. All these exotic cars look just that, exotic. And I said, well, man, my trucking friends' trucks are just as exotic as some of these Ferraris and Lamborghinis. That's the flavor that I want to try. And that's pretty much where it came from. I wanted that elegant, our names are, Elegance and Elegant. I wanted that elegant sense of making a person want to collect our magazine, not just make it a birdcage liner or something, after it was done. I wanted to actually be something they would put in their truck, put on their coffee table, bring in their offices, and have, right there where people say, oh man, you made the cover of this magazine, man, this is really cool. So,
and and you're right, you nailed it, because that's exactly what people do with the other magazine.
mm-hmm.
They collect them. I see them. I've been into people's houses and seen 10, 20, 30 copies of them. I can't afford anything in there, but but I look at them. What I have to ask, because you've obviously seen some really cool ones, and I can picture the ones I saw at Walcott last year. Matter of fact, there was one, the Pink Lady. Is that right? Am I saying that right? It was a pink truck. It was a woman-owned truck. Yeah. It was all pink. Do you remember? It won a trophy.
Well, I know we've had a series of owner operators that have had their trucks and come down to Walcott, but I don't recall that particular one.
I only recognized it because I was leaving. Well, I wasn't leaving. I was inside the tent, and we were kind of waiting for all the trucks to move. And that one, everybody was surrounded. Went, I got to go check this truck out. It's, how many times you see a hot pink truck, right? But which brings me to my next thought, which is, you got to describe the coolest truck you've ever seen, because you've seen them all.
One of the coolest trucks I've ever seen.
And you can't include your models.
Well, I did a photo shoot recently with Chris and Ruth Smith that hauls for Southern Pride, and out of San Diego, and they have a beautiful yellow Peterbilt. It's got like 198. Oh no, I'm sorry, 100 and I think it's right around 180, 190 inch sleeper on it, and it's gotten over like 3 million views on our YouTube channel, and it's absolutely stunning. This truck is just, the whole premise of their presentation and everything is absolutely divine about this truck. I truly love this truck. And like I said, I've had an opportunity to shoot like the Peterbilt from Transformers, of course, and the Western Star from Transformers. To actually see that truck in person and see the engineering and stuff that went behind that truck, and to talk to some of the people. I'm good friends with the guy that actually designed that truck for the Western Star for the movie, and the way his image was to make that truck look like it was seriously either watching you or about to transform is what that made me such a fan of that Western Star, because it truly does look like it's ready to do something while you're
really.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I got to ask you, is that yellow truck going to be on the cover of your magazine?
Actually, that truck has been on just about a little bit of everything of mine.
Okay. Have you made a model yet?
uh,
Man, this is just the coolest stuff. You know, it's funny. How old were you? Said when you first got excited about trucks?
when I first got excited, I had to be maybe 12.
So what year was that?
I want to say back in, I was born in 62. So
Okay.
I'm, 64, I mean, 74,
Okay.
75.
So my uncle was an over-the-road trucker forever, forever. And in
Okay.
74, same year, I was born in 66, so I was 8 years old. This monster big rig pulls up in front of my house. I'd never seen anything like that in my life, right? I climbed in that. I thought that was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And then my dad, who was out of work at that point, he had some physical issues. Went on a 3-month trip cross country with them, delivering loads. I just thought that was the craziest thing I remember going, wow, because it was bigger than our house. And you got a picture of a suburban neighborhood in South Jersey, right? And this rig just pulls up. And you go, what is that? So I get the fascination you must have had, because I'd never seen anything like that ever. I mean, you see them on the road, but that's not the same as seeing them standing there, all 4 foot nothing of you,
Right.
looking up at it.
And even to this day, I can see certain trucks, and I can stand, and that's one of the gifts, I think, one of the God gifts to me. I can look at certain equipment and almost picture the enthusiasm of other people seeing that same piece of equipment. And I can actually capture that with the cameras and stuff and present it to the rest of the world. And along with storylines to go with it, it's a lot easier than trying to go through a constant script or something, trying to make you be interested instead of just letting your eye and your love of trucks take over.
I could feel it. I could feel it when I was watching your videos. I went, "Wow, he loves doing this. He
Right.
absolutely loves doing it." And that's a real gift, man. It takes a long time for people to find their gift and their love, and you found it at a very young age.
Yes. I mean, and even Mr. Miller, he was enthralled with the fact that who is this young kid that keep calling from Alabama, wanting all these trucks? And when we finally got a chance to meet, he was like, Quinn, I have met a lot of people in the world, but you are the most interesting and focused individual that I've met in a long time. And for him to take me under his wing like he did and bring me down to Louisville and let me tour his facility and the shop and show me how the sleepers were built. And then actually, as I got older, I got some photos for him for his own marketing team. So that was just like the cream of the crop for me to actually finally be a part of the trucking world and the sleeper manufacturing world to, be a contributing asset to it. And even to this day, I've done work with some of the largest truck and trailer and sleeper manufacturers for photography, videography, advertising, marketing. So I just love what I do.
Well, then millions of truckers need to thank Mr. Ray Miller as well for
Oh,
expanding that gift in you.
yeah, that's what he did for the industry and for the people that have came since. He started Double Eagle Industries from ARI, ICT, and any of the other sleeper manufacturers. GI, it's a beautiful roller coaster ride, just seeing the industry grow from not having one, having it, and to expanding it to all the venues of sleeper manufacturing.
I love it. I love it. So now I have to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
what's in the future? What do you got planned?
Well, we're looking at doing a series of coffee table books now with the photography and stuff that we've done with some of the trucks and stuff. So I want to do almost like a library coffee table books of some of the trucks and stuff we've shot with special tributes. And I've always been a fan of the coffee table application. So now that's what I want to do. I really want to do like a 6 series hardcover.
I have to tell you, I think you're right on target. I mean, maybe it's our age, but like these Kindle things, I don't get at all. Reading books online, I don't get it. Man, I like to hold it and look at it and feel it.
And that's what I mean. You know, my daughter, you know, she was the brainchild behind the you know, the digital version of it. And I go everywhere we go, we get hit with, Quinn, when are you gonna, you know, you gotta keep the print going, man. You gotta bring up, man. I love having and holding and sharing the book with you. I don't always like to pop my phone out or my laptop out to show people. And that's why I told her, I said, yeah, baby, I know we got this digital thing down, but I really need to put some print stuff back together. And that's what the next step is.
I love it. And let me tell you, when you do it, you got to reach out to me. We got to get you on. We got to promote it. We got to get it. Look, you know, Credit Suite, we help business owners build business credit profiles. And our number one avatar, our number one customer base is over-the-road truckers.
Oh, cool.
That's who we talk to. That's why I was at Walcott.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because these ladies and gentlemen are small business owners. People, I know the general public just sees them as truck drivers, but they don't realize everything else they're doing besides driving a truck. Right?
And
it's a true business.
It truly is. And that's what my goal was, to let people see and look on the inside of these trucks. It's not just, you know, a sleeping area. These guys have offices, they have showers, they have, you know, their computer setups, and it's a on the road operation. It's business. You know, it's not just holding the steering wheel and going down the road.
Oh yeah, and listen, and it's heavily restricted on top of it. So
extremely, yes.
Yeah, so they're limited to their financial gains unless they can expand and add more trucks.
Yep.
And in addition to that, like you said, these are not just trucks; these are their houses.
Right.
I mean, they're living in them.
They live in these things for, you know, 3 or 4 months at a time before they come home, and then, you know, they don't spend a lot of time on, you know, at home, because products got to roll. And with some of the companies they work for, it's all about, like with Southern Pride, they deal a lot with the airlines, so the airline doesn't stop. So if you got a plane down, they have to get new engines or new interior layout. They have to get that stuff to the assembly plants or airline hangars or whatever. They have to be there. So these people don't sit very often.
No. And what most people don't realize, because you rarely meet a truck driver, right? Unless you happen to know one personally. I was fortunate enough to meet about 4,000 of them that weekend. And nicest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, just giving. I'm talking about anything from sitting in the bar afterwards to just having a conversation in the aisle, staring there, looking at just the nicest people. So I knew right away who you were when I saw you. I'm like, I saw you videotaping.
Yeah, I'm usually the guy that's walking around there that's trying to, because I make it my business to want to get in front of the most interesting and humble business people, because I try to surround myself with business personalities and positive business personality. And it's just, like I said, I love meeting new people and getting to transplant their knowledge into other people's, you know, mind, because they're so limited as to who truck drivers are and what they're about. These people are dedicated. They're, you know, sincere. They're humble. And, you know, they say, oh, he got that big truck and he can't haul anything with it. Well, he wouldn't have that big truck if he couldn't haul anything with it. You know,
that's a fact.
You know, we deal with, you know, some of the largest and most prestigious companies in the world, reliable carriers, you know, like I said, Southern Pride, Aviation Express, you know, North American Beacons, all the elite of the trucking, you know, the industry, United.
Well, let's tell our truck driver listeners, and we have lots of them, how to find you again. It's facebook.com, Elegance on 18 Wheels, or facebook.com/DE-Elegance, right?
Elegant Model Truck Fleet. Yep.
Elegant Model Truck. And look Quinn up. I mean, is not only is his story amazing, his product's amazing. I'm a big fan of magazines. I didn't tell you I came out of the printing industry. I used to print magazines. So, yeah, I'm old school, man. I don't like this digital stuff at all, but here I am doing it. And look, I have to tell you, Quinn, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on here. Your story is inspirational. I love the fact that you found your passion at a real young age and ran with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I found mine at a young age, and unfortunately, I never went to rocket school and didn't become an astronaut. I'm sure. We're both the same age. You remember how big a deal it was to be an astronaut back in the 60s and 70s, right?
Oh, that and hunting dinosaurs.
That's it. So it was a great pleasure to have you on here today. Once again, everybody look up Quinn McClinton. It's Kuenn, MCCLINTON. Can I give out your email? Would that be okay or not?
Sure.
Okay, it's K McClinton at sbcglobal.net. Once again, look him on Facebook, look him on YouTube. Just Google his name and you'll find his YouTube channel. It's amazing. If you're into trucks, you're going to see every type of truck, the interior, the exterior, and he does a lot of it with no real commentary. Like the wall cut video I watched, there was no sound, no music, no just you walking around, and it was cool.
I just want everybody to see and feel, you know, the like a lot of times, you know, we got to get some wind guards over our mics and stuff, but that's my only setback because I want people to hear and feel what I'm feeling and hearing at that time. So yeah.
Well, and your comments reflect that because they all said the same thing. They loved it. So thanks again, Quinn. I appreciate you coming on. Listen, you get that coffee table book, you make sure you reach out to us. Okay. I want to absolutely have you on here and share the link.
Thank you so very much. I really appreciate the invite.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay then.
Let me make sure.